20,
That's
20,
doable.
20.
That's doable.
10,
I do one
11,
Watch those knees
12,
there.
13, 14, 15. Write down, people. Let's go. 16,
Whoa!
17, 18, 19, 20. Let's go.
Hey!
What is happening, everyone? You are in Trop-cast episode 58. How is everyone doing after the...
I didn't even leave the chair, lads. I'm sitting here since last week. I'm here since Sunday. Since Saturday evening, I haven't left the chair and buckled to it. And they said, "You're not leaving here till you get another $4,000." And I said, "This is not going to happen, lads."
It was good crack. It was worth every bit of it, but I was tired after it.
My legs were sore the next day.
Why were they sore? Again?
I don't think I did squats in about 7 or 8 years. One day.
It'll be another 7 or 8 years again.
I did it again on Wednesday. I was like, I want to keep this up.
Yeah, that's good. Inspiration for...
Talk about the success of the event overall.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really phenomenal. I think the reaction from everyone, from the community, from the Republic of Players and beyond was just mind-blowing. And it kind of kept us going through the whole thing. I was there until I think it was 3:30 in the morning at the drop-off. Then I was up at 7 with the kids. So, but you guys stayed the course.
We struggled. Oh Lord,
Weird.
it got weird. It definitely got weird.
Before, so I know between 4 and 6 is usually silly time.
We've deleted the VOD. We've deleted the VOD. It's just, it's not happening. Nobody can see what happened. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm not joking. As I was out in the toilet, like splashing my face like every half an hour or something, trying to keep awake, trying to keep it going, trying to get the enthusiasm going. There's still money coming in, lads. We have to keep it going.
I did fall asleep.
Yeah.
I was playing Gangbase and I was like, I heard, I think it was John went in, and I was like, oh, I'm still playing Gangbase.
What was the final number, Paddy?
3,725 euros and 44 cents. So we do.
Most of the freaking journey.
It was. It was an unbelievable response. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I did expect, like, I put up a 500 euros. Now I did expect a little bit more, but like to go to nearly 4,000 euros in one day is just a credit to the community and a credit to gamers. Like, it was a fantastic response, and I was blown away, and so were all of us. To be honest, the money just kept coming in. It just seemed to never stop. We did have a little technical difficulties through the night. The website we were using, Just Given, decided to crash on me. Oh Lord, lads! And it was the bar we had, the top set of the screen was flying up, and then it crashed. So everything that was set up for the stream was gone. There was no more alerts. There was no more ticker bar. There was no nothing. So I had to, between about 4 o'clock, then we switched over to a different site. I can't remember the name of it. And then we had to keep reading out. We had to read out donations then. Yeah, we had to read out donations then just offhand, but they kept coming. So it was grand.
Technical difficulties, Paddy. As you know, I'm an experienced DJ, and a DJ set, like, it might last 3 or 4 hours, and you often get, technical difficulties along with 3 or 4 hours. This is a 24-hour live stream.
Mm-hmm.
This is 24 hours constantly in front of people. It is a monumental task, and my hat's off to you. You did a fantastic job, regardless of what happened.
Well, no,
Getting that other one set up, even getting the iDonate set up so quickly was great form.
it was like, to be honest, it's probably the PC held out. It was giving me a bit of trouble in the middle there as well, and I got cleared out today. I probably should have done that last week, but it worked. Everything went. We stopped it twice, and we went back in and started again, and everybody was fine about it. Paddy, one of the lads was like, "Oh, you have to do another 20 minutes." I was not cut off for 20 minutes. Don't say I was like 2 minutes now. Come on, give me that. But everyone started picking up again around 8:30. Record as day, people start coming back in and started seeing how we're getting on, and then we end up ending the show. What was the song? Final countdown, and it was the longest 5 minutes, lads, of my life. It's the final countdown where you just let me go and get out of here, go to sleep. I didn't get sleep for another 2 hours after that. Then I was buzzing. But I was messaging people who were still like, "Why are you messaging me for?" I was like, "I don't know." Just go to bed. You said, "Why aren't you?" Exactly. What's next?
I was the same. I was absolutely buzzing. I was like, you saw Drapedi. You saw, everybody saw how dead I was by 9 o'clock. and like I even stayed up.
You had a lot more energy than the rest of us, John. Jesus, you were happy as Larry. John was hopping around the place.
I was freaking.
We're nearly forgetting the egg in the room. I mean, the John in the room. John shaved his head as well with the best razor on this side of the planet. I swear to God, it was the best razor ever.
I don't think it's still here, but it's fantastic. Brawn, I suppose.
So we had squats. We had John shaving his head. We had games all day. We had money raised. We had like it was great crack. It was a very memorable day, and like it's not gonna be one to be forgot about because it was great. I had a fantastic time. We had umpteen amount of streamers in throughout the day. We had different people taking over the channel. We had everything happening. Even John Romero popped in. He just loves us. John and Ronan are going out for a pint there when this is all over. I think at the end of this, I think that's what's going to happen. Ronan's going to be the next Doom game. He came in and he shared us out, and like the response is just ridiculous. I couldn't get over it.
It was great, and what I loved as well is like even when it was the wee crazy hours of the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. There was still always at least 3 or 4 people talking to us. Like there was never a stage where it was like dead air. Like with just on people talking. No, it was constant. It
must have been average like 40 viewers throughout the whole.
It was, yeah. It ended up losing a bit when I knew it. You know yourself when you drop a stream that you're going to lose viewers, and it built back up again, and then it dropped and built back up again. But there was a few people that stayed around like the whole day. And there was a lot of lurkers. There was a serious amount of lurkers through the whole thing, which is good. We needed it. I'm thankful for them to do it because, as you know, on Twitch, the more numbers you have, the better chance you have of more people coming in. It's just the way it is. It's the way it is on Twitch.
A funny story, my boss texted me out of nowhere. She was on her holidays, and she's actually doing a fundraiser for cancer research. And I donated to the cancer research, and she texted me back. She said, "Oh, I heard you're doing something at the weekend. Is gaming or something, is it?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, here's the link." And she ended up donating, and then she checked it the day after, and obviously seen how much we made, and she was like, "Wow, do people really, is gaming really that big?" And I'm like, "Yeah, gaming really is that big." It's nice like that.
It's quite funny to say that when Jigsaw are taking the same thing. They didn't like we met them at Insomnia, and that's why they were there, was trying to they were seeing if gaming would be a good way to raise funds, and I think we're after proving that it is. Like, to be fair, it's unbelievable the amount of money and like as I said posted, is like a lot in this day and age. What's going on? Everyone is in their right to keep that money in their pocket because nobody knows what's going to happen. Let's face it, we don't know which way the economy. We do know which way it's going, but we don't know how bad it's going to be. Do you know, the economy could be flat. People could be out of work tomorrow. You could have a job today, but you might not have a job in 6 months, and that's just the way it is. So everyone's entitled to keep that money in their pocket, but everyone gave something, and it was fantastic. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was brilliant, and us playing Gangbees at like 5 o'clock in the morning. John, first time jumping into playing Fortnite and absolutely loving it and like properly playing.
I have to admit Fortnite was fun. I didn't think I'd say that. I didn't try and build it all, but I was just
no.
And it was just good crack.
Yeah, I end up falling back into my comfort zone. Like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, no lads, I ain't playing no game but Fortnite because I know exactly what I'm doing in Fortnite. So it was just, I felt like there was some lad in the stream, and it was like 6:30 in the morning, and they're like, play Warzone. I was like, no, I'm just going to play some Fortnite. Fortnite's shite. I don't care. I'm still playing it. You're probably right, but I don't care.
It's the last 3 hours, okay? This is what I want to do.
And I suppose not to forget why the funds were being raised, and it's for Jigsaw, who are a mental health organization that help young people that have mental health illnesses. And I think even that on its own, it means a lot to everyone, but especially me. I've gone through a loss at the start of the month, through mental health in the family. So to get that money and to get that response and to make people aware that mental health can be talked about, it meant an awful lot to me, and I'll be forever grateful. So well done everybody, well done to the community, and it was fantastic. It was really kind of humbling at the end of the day, as John said.
We could do one like maybe once a year or something.
Oh yeah,
I think that'd be the best. I don't think you'd be doing them too often. I wouldn't like to. Not that I wouldn't like to do it, but you wouldn't ask too much of your community all the time.
Exactly.
So like, if you could do one, like if you could do one once a year or something like that, that'd be great. Like if you could, use your community for good as well. At the end of the day, like
definitely.
It's not that we ask too much of them, but like to come together like that, just shows, and it's unreal. I can't believe it. To be honest, it was unbelievable. Like we go back to when we did raise funds before, and we got to a certain amount of number, and now we're after like doubling it and more, and it just shows like the community is getting bigger and everything's coming together, and we're showing that we're forming an actual bond with everyone, and it's growing all the time, and it's brilliant. I love it. And we'll try to do one next year, maybe same cause, maybe something different. You never know. Mental health is very important. As we said, and everyone should always help their local charities and help, especially now because there's not much money being raised. Like, how are they supposed to do it? We said the other day, how are they supposed to do the normal things of going for runs or that stuff that they do raise money the whole time for?
Yeah, that's it. Is that, but what people are going to have to adapt, like kind of like what we did. Like we're going to probably see more companies like this doing stuff online, doing gaming stuff, doing just stuff that they don't have to be out and about, and they can be good with their social distancing and stuff. So I think for the foreseeable future, I think we'll see a rise in this kind of
I hope so,
fundraising.
Yeah, and have the crack with it. Why not?
Right, guys, let's go on to the forever topic. What we're playing. I know we were playing for 24 hours straight, but have you guys been playing? Well, even you could talk about what you've been playing on the charity stream or after. Let's throw it to Paddy Toner first.
Gang Beast, Fortnite. What else do we play?
Are you back onto Fortnite now in a big way, or?
I don't know. I probably I've been looking a bit into Fortnite the last week, looking at videos and stuff like that. Like I do love the game. Even like picking up the controller, and I actually jumped off this podcast last week, and my brother's in Scotland and he's on his own at the minute, because of this. Everyone's gone. He's not working or anything like that because of this. He usually works in a restaurant or whatever, so he's at home, and he's only one cousin beside him. It's like, I'll jump on and we'll play some games or whatever. And I got into Fortnite, and he's big into Fortnite at the minute. And as soon as I picked it up, it's like I never put it down, and I won a game within like 2 games or something. And it has a little bit of an addiction for you because like it is very skilled. When you get into it, and when you build stuff and then you get the shot and you make it look good, it's one of them games I really do like playing. I always did like playing it. But to go back, I probably will pick it up once a week or maybe like that to get back into it properly. But there's a lot of problems in the community with Fortnite at the minute. There are a lot of people giving out about it. There's a lot of people falling off the game. It's what goes up must come down. That's probably at the minute what's happening with them.
RIP Fortnite was trending on Twitter in the last few days.
Yeah, I think there's something we have something in the news about them as well. But RIP Twitter or RIP Fortnite, and then thank you Fortnite and all this, because I found myself, even when the new season arrived, something was different about it, and the new map just didn't hit at me. For it was too big, it was too hard to get across. You spent most of the time running away from the storm, and now they're after doing this skill based matchmaking, and a lot of people aren't happy with it because for the reason is if you're a sweat, all you do is go up against sweat. So there's, especially content creators, they've no way of connecting with people that are not at lower standard than themselves, so they can't make that content where they jump in and play with a random person and next thing they bring them to a win. Like they don't like all that. So the game is kind of off balance at the minute, whereas they were trying to help out the weaker players too much, I think, and they need to come back the opposite way and trying to balance the game out a little bit. But it's hard to know what Epic's done. Have Epic come so far with the game that what else can they do? Like, they did do a lot in the last couple of years. Like, they brought it to such a height. How much further can you go without? You can't. I don't know if you can. And they're kind of proving it at the minute. Maybe they want something new. I don't know. It's hard to know what's going to happen in that game.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Paddy. It got to a stage where it was so balanced. I think the time when you were playing at your peak, where you just everything was flowing. They should have hit that peak and then continued that peak with minor changes throughout, not switch the whole map up again, because like you said, that was such a risky thing to do, to kill, a lot of the player base. And I think that's what, like, a lot of us complain about Call of Duty being the same every year for the last, 6 or 7 series. But but it's down to, because it's a massive esports scene, they can't change it all that much. And I think, FIFA, exactly the same. So I think what they should have done is got to that peak and then continued on from there. But it's hard to know whether it'll ever come back to the heights. I personally still love it. I still play it, every so often. I enjoy it. I jump in with my son. He adores the game still, regardless of what season it's on. But for me, it's not a game that I was ever crazy about, but a game that I did love and enjoy to play.
Yeah. I do adore the game, and I don't really know if I like the skill-based matchmaking because I haven't played in a while, and obviously my stats have gone down a big time from what they were. But I jump in now, and it's like I'm a god, and I don't know if I like it because because that's kind of the challenging aspect of I loved. It was that you come up against these unbelievable players, and sometimes you beat them, and sometimes you didn't. Like Saturday there, I was playing with people that were on the Switch that were and it was just bots. It was bots everywhere.
Yeah.
Bots. And like I don't really like as a seasoned player, I don't really like it. But again, they're catering to the younger people, and the younger people are the ones that will put the money into the game, that will continuously shove money into it every week. They'll buy their skins, they'll buy that, and that's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But another game that was unbelievably great that me, John, and Aidan were in love with was Gang Beasts. It's such a fun game. John was
so
cheating.
Cheating. I was playing very, very well.
It's skillfully cheating. He would do things like everyone else would be fighting, and John would be off in the corner going.
I was entertaining the masses.
You were.
You get in the bin.
Get in the bin.
You get in the bin. Bin strats are the best strats. You can't get them out of the bin.
The greatest thing about that whole game when it was on in the stream was Paddy's commentating. Oh my god, you had me in tears. It was just like when you were winning, you're like, I'm the greatest at this game, and then when you're losing, it's like, I'm streaming, leave me alone.
The best was when I freaking I got in the bin. I was in the bin for ages. They finally got me out of the bin. Then they started fighting over each other. I took the bin. I took it all the way up to the stairs, and I got back onto the bin.
And then we all killed each other, and you won.
Yeah. How it works.
Or the fact that the two boys were up against me a couple of times and I kept beating them. That was funny as well. It's a very good game.
I loved that at 5 a.m. we found ourselves a nemesis in that blue cat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he kept being in every game because there's probably like 10 people looking for games at the hour in the morning.
If you're looking for a game to play with a couple mates, that is definitely one to pick up and to give it a shot, because it's just what would you call low heart
chaos.
Yeah, chaos.
Yeah.
Good hard fun if you want to know if it's something like that.
It's the ragdoll effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
The ragdoll mechanic is just makes it all it is.
Well, you end up trying to figure out that's someone said that in the chat as well. It doesn't matter how many times you play this game, every time you jump in, you're like, what's the controls?
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Oh, I'm going to start punching John.
Headbutts.
Headbutts are my favorite.
Yeah. I actually picked up, just before the show there, I accidentally picked up Final Fantasy 7. If anyone read on Buy and Play my raffle page or whatever, I was selling off a Final Fantasy 7 copy, and I end up trying to buy it on the PSN store, and I thought I could get it with the PSN, like the code, and it ended up you can't do that, and I just went to my PlayStation. I was like, well, at least I have a new game to play. I have to buy it again. So I bought it. Jack won it,
thanks to the 24-hour stream as well.
Yeah, you won, John, as well. Madman. John, video. I want video. Review. But I've been looking forward to playing it because I did like the mechanics. The mechanics changed for this, so I don't like the original Final Fantasy 7 because of the mechanics. Because
what did you say?
Because of the fight system and everything. So
that's
I do like. I'll be interested to jump into this. I might actually stream it because I think it'd be good content for a person that's never played it before. For people to watch.
Fantastic.
Do you have any idea? Obviously, no spoilers, but like, do you have any idea of the story?
No.
That'd be good. It would be great. It would be great to play.
It's very hard to me to say this because big parts of public players and all that. I haven't a clue about Final Fantasy. Not a notion. You tell me a character from you, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I wouldn't tell you one. You said something the other day, and I was like, who? And you're like, you don't know. I was like, no. So my
problem is though, you're going to play this one, and then you're going to start at 1 the whole way through, and you'll never see Paddy again.
As long as if they keep doing remakes, as long as they change the mechanics and all that, I'll be happy enough. As long as if it's not turn-based battle and stuff like that, I don't like it. Like you're going along, and it's like that Pokemon. You zoom down in, and you start fighting each other. Pick off.
Aidan, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Final Fantasy 7. So yeah, I got this game midnight. Night came out, and I finished it yesterday.
Nice. Was it after the podcast actually last week?
It was, yeah. The podcast was like the podcast over half an hour before this comes out. But yeah, when I said yesterday, I think it's the greatest game remake that's ever been made. And
Better than Resident Evil 2. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't think it's close.
I've been hearing like the reviews have just been like, to be honest with you, I was expecting a few bad reviews, but like compare those reviews to Resident Evil 3 reviews recently, because they're getting the whole, it's a bit short. They could have done a lot more with it. Final Fantasy 7 remake is just glowing reviews.
Yeah, so they took what was the original game. The original game, the remake takes place in an area of the original game. It takes like 3 to 5 hours to complete, and this is a 40-hour game. And never once did I think they made any mistake on this whatsoever. They use the time to flesh out the place that you're in and the world that you live in to such an extent that they never sort of got away with in the original game. Like, Final Fantasy VII starts, you're a member of an eco-terrorist organization, and you blow up a power reactor. And that's fine in the original game. You blow up the reactor. That's the game goes on. This game, after you do that, spends the next 2 hours having you wander around the city and seeing the after effects of the thing that you did, and making you question whether what you're doing, whether you're the good guy or not, in a really, really smart way. I think the music is absolutely incredible.
I said that, and even playing the demo, I thought it was the best part about the game.
There's an €80 soundtrack that's 8 discs, and I've never been more tempted to buy a soundtrack in my life. They've reimagined almost all of the original songs in a new way. But apart from that, there's also collectible CDs that are then again different genre versions of the songs from the original games. Like, there's a jazzy version of the battle theme, and there's like a sort of disco pop version of like some other.
Is this within the game you're collecting?
Within the game, you're collecting these, and you can play them in jukeboxes.
That happened before in the previous Final Fantasy, no? Where you were collecting music. I'm nearly certain it was. Could have been 9 or.
You can collect music spheres in 10 and play them in the theater, as far as
maybe it was 10 I was thinking of.
Yeah, there's an amazing hip-hop version of the Chocobo theme that's fantastic. But yeah, the game, I can't say any more without getting into spoiler territories. The game is more than it meets the eye when you start. For anyone that's playing it, once you get to the final chapter, you should probably watch a plot recap of the original Final Fantasy before you play it. That's all I'm saying.
Stephen Brennan says, it was number 10.
Yeah. So yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about it. I'm going to write a review for the Republic of Players website. Hopefully I'll get it up over the weekend.
Finished it, have you?
Yeah, I finished it yesterday.
I said it to you in a text earlier. I said, Aiden's doing, because you were saying maybe a great video review, maybe a guide to the new one. I was like, well, Aiden's doing a written one. And she goes, oh, do you think you'll do a spoiler-free one? It's like, first she said, can we get someone else to edit it? And I was like, who?
So she doesn't want to get spoilers.
I text Aiden then and say to try and get it that it's spoiler-free. He was like, he didn't text back for it, and he's like, all right then.
I'm trying to figure out how I can what way to do it, but yeah, I'm gonna write a spoiler-free review later on in the year. I hope to write
spoiler-free. Don't continue reading, but I'm editing it.
Yeah, that's it. Just put that to start.
Yeah, later on in the year, I hope to write more about the ending itself. I think there's a lot of specialness in that game.
Nice.
Apart from that, I'm still playing Tetris at night, and that's about it.
So you're dying for the next one that'll come out in 10 years, are you?
Honestly, I'm still digesting the one that I've got. It wasn't the case of when it was over, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the next one. It was a case of, oh, there's going to be so many good YouTube videos made about this game.
So it felt like, without kind of spoiling it felt like the end of a big arc, and maybe you know that the new story is coming, or you know what I mean? I don't even want to know the answer to that. I'm wondering, if you get to that stage, does it feel like, do you feel satisfied at the end?
Yes. I completely feel satisfied.
Perfect.
Would you feel satisfied at the end if you hadn't played the original and you don't know what's going to happen, or would you be chomping at the bit, being like, what's going to happen next?
There's a little bit of the end of Halo 2 in it.
Everybody that hasn't played it, just close your ears.
No, you can answer that spoiler free very easily. It's just
Yeah, and there's a little bit of Halo 2 in it where it's we're going to keep going and that's happening. But this does feel like a very contained part of the story. It doesn't feel like this very much feels like a stop point of a trilogy.
Awesome. That's good.
You haven't
John
played it, Ron,
Fogarty,
have you?
Too old for gaming.
Paddy just asked a question there.
Have you played it one yet? No.
No, I haven't played it yet. No, I haven't loaded it on. Just like
play it
everything
together.
else, get into something else and not play anything else.
Tarkov.
John Fogarty, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a few things. I was like Paddy already talked about it, playing a bit of Gang Beasts, playing a bit of Fortnite. But I also was playing a little bit of what's it called? Green Hell.
Green Hell, yeah. We played it last night.
Myself and Ronan played a bit of Green Hell. There's a video up on my channel if you want to watch it. But it's very good.
It's a good video game.
What I liked about it was that myself and Ronan, we didn't actually have to really Google anything. It kind of teaches you as you go. Like you have a notebook, and when you find certain things, it a bit like Minecraft actually. The notebook tells you what you can build with the stuff you just picked up, and it's also just this kind of exploration of the crafting. Like it puts down this stone pedestal in front of you basically, and you can literally just drag like, okay, what happens if I drag a stick and some rope? Oh, I got a bow. What happens if I do a rock and a rock? Oh, I get a rock blade. Like it's just literally like you just sit there with all your ingredients and just see what the hell you're making.
Like it sounds like kind of every other survival game, but just the way it's done and the setting, I think, is what makes it kind of unique.
I've watched a couple of videos on it. It looks nuts, to be honest.
It's really good.
We only played the multiplayer game, and the single player aspect of it is meant to have one of the best stories that a survival game has ever had.
That's what, yeah. Like it's getting fantastic reviews. It's getting like
It's
certified
year,
fresh.
is it?
Yeah, 2019 is when I saw the year, but I don't know when exactly 2019 it came out. But yeah,
I
about
was
a year.
watching. There's a fella I watch on YouTube. I can't remember his name at the minute, but they were showing that you start hallucinating and you start seeing like lads coming at you, but the other players with you can't see them. So isn't it if someone dies, your stress level goes up?
Loads of stuff makes your
stuff
stress
like
go
that
up,
there,
yeah.
and it keeps your stress level. And the more your stress level goes up, the more you start hallucinating, and the more you start hallucinating, the more you have chances of dying or something.
Which is Aidan will know what I'm talking about. I cannot think of the game right now. What game am I thinking of with the stress meter? I kind of met it. It was like PS1, PS2. Eternal Darkness. Isn't that what's called? Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, it's a long time since I played that.
Yeah, and you had the stress meter, and then stuff used to happen. Like statues would start moving if your stress was too high, or it started messing with your TV. It started pretending that your TV was turning down. Very actual Kojima stuff as well, like Kojima way of messing with you. But yeah, it has a stress meter, and like we found out stuff like I got a worm in my arm.
Yeah,
and
I could see it when I looked at you that this worm was kind of crawling under his skin, and
I couldn't figure out how to get it out.
Yeah, there's some kind of weird stuff in it.
Isn't it they get leeches on you and stuff like that?
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
legs
But like you can
you
inspect your whole body to make sure that you're okay. Like I went into like a termite mound or something like that, and I got stung, and I was looking at myself. Yeah, I got all these rashes across me, and the stress level.
Yeah, it wasn't killing him. It was making his stress go up and up and up, having this rash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was madness.
The wildlife in it is really good. Like you can literally stand on a rattlesnake without even seeing them, and I don't know. Like I'm usually one for really noticing wildlife in games, but the wildlife in this game is spot on.
You never spotted a snake, by the way.
Not one.
It was
snake.
always like Rhoda the snake there, huh? What?
I also got bit by a scorpion in a cave as well, so
yeah.
I just running through everything.
Nice.
But it's a brilliant game.
Yeah, very fun. I think, and other than that, was I playing that? I was playing a bit of Tarkov with you. Oh, yeah. I was playing. We won't talk about Fallout 3, but we were playing. I was playing a bit of Skyrim as well, which was good fun. I streamed Skyrim for about 3 hours there yesterday, and I will say I did get the inspiration from Uni because she looks like she's having a great time with us. I was like, I'm going to freaking play a bit of Skyrim because this game's class. And a lot of fun. If it's Skyrim, I haven't played it in years. First time playing it on keyboard and mouse, which was a kind of it plays really well on keyboard and mouse because the way on controller the fighting system can feel a bit clunky. Although they've probably fixed the fighting system a tiny bit since I've played it. But
I love the fighting system in Skyrim.
I do. I always liked it as well. But like I think it actually adds a little more element when you're kind of dodging and weaving and using your WASD and your mouse. It's actually I'm really liking it. Yes, it's Skyrim. I'd say people know about it already. You're a dragonborn and you kill dragons.
Never heard of it.
You're awake. The biggest freaking meme about 2 years ago. But yeah, that's pretty much. I was probably playing a few other bits and bobs. That's pretty much what I was playing.
What are you playing, Ron?
Yeah, just exactly what John said. Escape from Tarkov and Green Hell.
You're never going to get away from Escape from Tarkov. It's just...
I've actually I said it to myself the other day. It's going to be a game that I'm going to be playing. I think until forever.
Tell us about the updates on it, like the interchange. Customs is getting an update now soon too. I heard.
Yeah, there's an expansion coming on Customs. It is part of construction. So the construction area beside, where there's kind of like the steel girders. Yeah, that's been extended out. I think I'm nearly certain Kim actually told us that previously, but there's an image now showing it being extended out. So that's getting the expansion. And then on Interchange, you'll be happy to hear this, but there's a few more extractions. Some really good ones actually, really kind of there's one inside the car park.
There's one down below, isn't there? You have to open up a door and go inside. Yeah. And then there's one kind of between the two main ones. And yeah, it's fantastic. Still, it's running better than it's ever ran before. One, I found out one of the reasons was there was no virtual memory on my hard drive that I got, so I added some virtual memory, and that seems to run the game really well, and it just looks better than it ever has. Like even reserve, I'm running into reserve and I'm getting 60 frames per second, so it's there's people saying already that Tarkov is dying out already, and I was like, you don't really know like what Tarkov's really about at the minute. I don't like. Obviously, it's going to take a low at the minute when the content is kind of slowed down a little bit because they're waiting for the wipe again. But like because everyone seems to run games on how they're being watched on Twitch. Yeah. I don't really think that's
on Tuesday.
What's that? There was drops on Tuesday. There was. That's the first time I've ever seen two different games with drops going on at the exact same time. They still have drops going on for Valorant at the minute.
Yeah.
Was it?
I still can't get a fucking code.
One of the lads got it. Shout out to Ush. He literally had like 2 or 3 streams open, and he ended up getting a code for it.
Him.
And and he was streaming it the other day, and I was watching him. It's basically, if you like Counter-Strike, you're going to like this game.
Yeah.
It's not for me, I'll be honest with you. I'm not interested in this game whatsoever.
No, I'll definitely give it a shot. I'm not sure. I'm not saying I'll be as big into it as like Fortnite or Tarkov, but I'll give it a go. I'd like to play it. Like
it's high skill base, accuracy shooter, like just like CS:GO, which I have a lot of appreciation.
I have no idea. Is it free to play?
Fastest finger first, I think it is. Yeah.
Free to play.
I think it is free to play,
If it's free to play, I might give it a shot. Like
yeah.
At the minute, they don't have the servers to let load people into it, so they're doing it like drip drabbing people.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. Probably waiting until enough players have gone off the game, like not playing at that certain time and then dropping it to someone else, and then you'll probably end up trying to wait in to get into a game then.
See, my biggest issue with that game is it doesn't have the ripple of, say, a Fortnite or even a PUBG, because the stuff that it's doing has been done before. Like, I don't think it's bringing anything original to the plate here. Like, if you look at the game, it's CS:GO gameplay. There's Overwatch kind of style in it where you have the ultimates and the different abilities. The weapons are pretty basic. It's just not doing anything new for me to see that longevity. It's kind of a
revamped CS:GO, and
that's what CS:GO Riot did before with League of Legends, though, and it worked for them so well.
That's true. That's true. They know what they're doing.
There's nothing original in League of Legends. Nothing.
You can't take it away from Riot. They know what they're doing. So there is going to be a scene for this, but I think it's going to be more on the esports side of things. I don't think we're going to see. You're not going to be watching this on streams 24/7. It's going to be like
there's going to be a
like
huge
CS:GO
game in the Asian markets.
Yeah, probably.
So speaking of news, guys, let's move into it. So the Chinese Communist Party are introducing new laws to stop gamers from interacting with the rest of the world. This revelation comes only days after Animal Crossing New Horizons was removed from sale in the country. Hong Kong pro-democracy activist Joshua Wong used the game to share a screenshot of his virtual protest stating "Free Hong Kong" and criticizing Xi Jinping, the president of the People's Republic of China. Other Chinese players had created scenes in the social sim game that lambasted the regime's response to the coronavirus, and as such, the game is now no longer available for purchase. Now the government has been alerted to the authority vacuum. in online multiplayer games. The Chinese Communist Party is said to be unhappy that Chinese players are able to engage in unregulated spaces for socialization in these games. Consequently, new laws are being created to expand the scope of the online censorship in video games and prevent players from interacting with gamers in the rest of the world. Oh God, China.
Yeah. It's
I
not
say?
shocking.
PUBG
China.
players rejoice.
It's not shocking, to be honest with you. Like, the Chinese people are like lovely people, but the Chinese government are just insane.
It's all about control, isn't it?
Yeah, but like
Rest.
they haven't had free internet since God knows how long. They ban anything that has anything to like any sort of criticism. Like back in the day, people were saying that as a form of protest, but it was just memes as well. That the Chinese president looked like Winnie the Pooh, and they'd have like pictures of him side by side with Winnie the Pooh. They'd have like Winnie the Pooh being at meetings and stuff, and they completely banned the character, and they're like putting people in prison for sharing such memes because it's now literally illegal. It's not a communist state, but it is. But it's a dictatorship. At the end of the day, it's absolute nonsense.
Authoritarianism.
Exactly, it's absolute nonsense. And again,
Xi
not
Jinping
against
has no chill.
exactly not against the Chinese people. Like I actually feel sorry for the Chinese people. It's the Chinese government that is just horrendous.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to know where did that stop. I suppose it's going to be same as like North Korea or something like that. They're just not going to see anything come out of there at one stage. You're not going to see what's going on, and you're not going to see. They're going to see plenty coming in. We're not going to see what's going on.
I don't think we see.
That's the way it is now.
Anyway,
But I mean, like if they're completely stopping, like even online gamers getting together, like it's getting.
Yeah, but it was only recently that they brought gaming into that country, wasn't it?
No, they brought consoles into the country. Games have already always
consoles
been there
was
since
it?
PC
Yeah,
gaming
okay.
such a thing.
Okay.
like
Like PC.
they're under massive scrutiny at the minute for this coronavirus and stuff like that. And they're going to be under more and more pressure constantly. Even when this is over, it's going to even be worse for them. The government itself, like obviously.
And I think that's their biggest issue is if their reputation is squashed, it's literally like do anything to, stop information from leaking out.
Who's going to go up against them? Do you know what I mean?
Nobody.
Like, think the people are on about to get democracy into China and stuff like that. Like, who's going to do it? Nobody.
Well, they have like democracy in Hong Kong. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they're
but
they're
like the
trying to
rest
get
of
those
it.
extradition laws to just basically. You said if you're living in Hong Kong, you said something bad about China, we're allowed to just extradite you without any due process. That's what the whole protests are about. But it's just shocking. I don't want to get too into it because like it's not really a political show, but in my opinion, it is shocking.
Yeah,
Shocking.
free to
Shocking.
bed.
Free to bed.
Exactly. Keep Hong Kong free.
So the next bit of news, guys,
this
this
this part.
this next bit.
Yeah, we read.
Okay.
What was that other? Just that it came out what the game actually is.
Oh yeah, there's a remaster of Crisis coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So that is,
Oh yeah, because the start you have something related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so Crisis, the original Crisis, which is one of the greatest first-person shooters I've ever played. Has anyone played that game? No.
I played
I
Crisis
have.
2.
Yeah, Crisis 1 you can actually get on PS3, I believe.
Nice.
I'm nearly certain you can get it on PS3. I'm nearly certain I have it. But it is a fantastic game. It did so much, to the FPS genre when it came out. And it, you needed a really, really good PC to run Crisis. That was
the meme.
That was the meme.
yeah.
one of the
Well,
greatest
yeah.
memes.
Well,
in
does it
PC
run
gaming history.
Crisis?
Yeah, yeah. This you can still see it today.
Yeah.
Somebody
makes
put
no
up their
sense, yeah.
newest build. It's like, does it run Crisis?
But does it run Crisis?
But,
Still to this day.
I think it's always exciting to see like little tweets and stuff come out about games and get people hyped and like drip drabity and stuff like that. It's brilliant.
yeah, so it was a tweet. So the official Twitter account has begun tweeting messages for the first time in years, suggesting an announcement involving the first-person shooter series is on the way. So we know now that it's a remaster of the original, which I'm very, very excited about. It's a fantastic game. I would tell everyone, if they haven't played it, look forward to this one because it did an awful lot that other first-person shooters wasn't doing. They've got a really fantastic story. You're basically like this super soldier, a team of super soldiers that go in to this. I'm nearly certain it's like an Asian island, and the island is experimenting, or they've found something, and you have to try and figure out what they found. So it's sci-fi. It's, you know, the abilities that you have as a character. You can go invisible, pretty much like Metal Gear Solid, with the cloak, the visible cloak.
Yeah.
What is the real name for that? Anyone remember?
Camouflage, active camouflage.
Yeah, active camo.
Active camo, yeah. So it was in Crisis as well, and it worked really well. So there was like sneaking, then you could like make your arm. Yeah, Eden?
I was going to say, news of this makes me really hopeful that they remaster the original Far Cry as well.
Yeah,
I think
original Far Cry.
I
Actually,
love
they were
that
very
game.
similar games, Eden.
Very similar, it was around the same time. It was just when they had the Crytek engine finished for the first version of the Crytek engine. I would love a remake of the first Far Cry. I love that game.
Yeah, same as that. I loved it as well. So the next bit of news is veteran Star Fox and Team Fortress 2 voiceover actor Rick May has died of coronavirus at age 79 as fans paid tribute. He never would have realized it until years later, but Rick May was responsible for some of the most iconic video games dialogue of all time. The American voice actor voiced Star Fox character Peppy Hare, and that means he was responsible for the meme-tastic "Do a barrel roll" line. Does anyone know that? I don't know that.
100%.
How he
Of
how
course.
to say it.
Do a barrel roll.
When I hear Lilac Wars, I hear that.
It's one of the most iconic
That's
lines in
all I
gaming,
hear.
honestly.
What is it? It's quiet. It's too quiet. Oh, Fox, look out behind you.
Save me, Fox!
And then
I
you
know
see
that's
some
I
of
know
the
that's the
lads coming
frog,
in.
but
That game, it's brought up a few times in the show, and I know you haven't played it, but that is one of the best games for N64.
I played it.
Yeah, no, it was it's really
was
fun.
me, Paddy.
Very, very fun. What?
I'm sorry.
I know
I didn't
it
know.
was when it was loaded. It was like Jack and Seamus and everyone sitting there and said, "No idea what that game is." I'm like, "What?"
Oh, yeah.
It's not, but it's
lads, sorry, just a little aside. I swear to God, look what I just picked up from behind my light. Oh, you can't see. It's hair. I found hair. My
Thanks for
It
God.
will
sharing.
be for years
I
later.
didn't get it off. Anyway,
Um,
go on. Sorry.
So it says, although primarily a stage actor and teacher, May voiced the characters in the N64 games Lilac Wars, aka Star Fox 64, in 1997, where he played both villain Andros and veteran co-pilot Peppy, who also uttered memorable lines such as "Never give up, trust your instinct."
He did probably have the best lines in the game. Like he did. It was very good actor, or very good voice. Like I always remember his voice as soon as I think of that game.
Oh yeah.
Do a barrel roll. That's definitely like the biggest one. Do a
It's
barrel roll.
again, it's one of the. It's like one of the most known lines in gaming, and on all of that, it was like a massive meme.
Even Andros,
No.
actually, his voice as well is pretty
Yeah.
like you could pretty kind of I can hear that in my hand as well.
Big monkey head. Yeah.
Big monkey head.
No,
Yeah.
fantastic game. I never played the original one. You know, the one that was on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But Lilac Wars was my first one that I played, and I absolutely adored it. It was one of those games.
It's just
that I remember.
that's a complete remake, isn't it, of the one
Yeah,
on the
it
Steam.
is.
They released Star Fox 2 actually for
on the SNES Mini.
The SNES Mini, yeah. It's the first time you can play it unless you
Yeah.
downloaded a ROM or something like that's the first time you could play it on the thing.
Hmm.
But they're very good games. I'd love to see is there new ones out of them games? I'd say there is.
There was one on the Wii U and it was really, really bad, and they're
Was
now
it?
waiting to. They gave it to a third-party developer, and it was a really bad game.
It's not really
So-
something you see too much anymore, is it? Like them kind of flying games.
No.
No,
It was
No.
one of those. The other thing that, and I don't really agree with it, but it got into a bit of controversy because it was. Remember, there was like a thing a while ago where people were like, "There should be an easy mode in Dark Souls, and there should be an easy mode in this, and easy mode in that," and people were like, "Oh my God, no!" And like my stance is always like, "Well, you can just play it on normal. If people want to play it on easy, they can. I don't really care. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean I have to play it on easy." But they got in trouble for that because they had a mode where you could fly through the whole game and not be able to take damage if you wanted to. If you want to see the whole game.
You're
People were like, this
cruising.
is an outrage.
You're
I remember
cruising.
when gamers were gaming, and I remember when there was a challenge. It was like, yeah, you can have a challenge. Freaking play the game on normal. You don't have to play it on easy, dude. Someone,
dare they?
a child might want to play this.
How
That,
dare they make it accessible for everyone?
yeah, exactly. If you want to have fun with it, whatever way you want to have fun with it, you don't have to force your version of fun onto other people, you maniac.
video games shouldn't be the only form of media that you might not be good enough to see all of.
Yeah, it's like that old
So-
Darrow O'Brien joke. He was like, "That's why I like gaming because no other medium. You don't read a book and after chapter 2, the book just shuts and goes right quiz. You need to pass this quiz to read the rest of the book."
So Rick May will be remembered we'd like to wish his family condolences at this time.
Yeah.
And anyone else out there that is suffering with this virus, condolences to everyone out there. So the next piece of news, guys, Nintendo Switch fans have discovered something interesting within the latest system update files. Nintendo released firmware update 10.00 earlier this week. The update introduces new custom controller settings, new transfer options, and improved bookmarking. Arguably even more interesting is what was discovered within the game's files. According to a new tweet by research Mike Heskin, the latest update hints at a brand new Switch model, perhaps evidence of a new Nintendo Switch Pro console. The newly discovered NX-ABCD hardware model will seemingly feature dual screen support. Firmware 10.0.0 adds preliminary support for a new hardware model. NX-ABCD reads hex, I don't know what that is, hex keys tweet. 3 out of 5 new DRAM profiles are for this new hardware type, and there's evidence of a secondary display of sorts being added exclusively on this model.
Maybe it's just like a Switch DS version.
That's what I was
like
thinking.
Flip screen, close up, close down. That's what it kind of sounds like.
It could be cool. Like when I first saw the ad for the Switch, and I thought they were doing a portable, and maybe I was the only one. I was a little bit, is that really that cool, or is that really something that I would want? But then the second it came out and like I got one, I was like, oh no, this is actually amazing. So like the dual screen thing,
maybe it's a Switch 3D.
That could be it. But like even if it is a dual screen, like kind of new DS sort of a thing, my brain's kind of going, would that really work? Would it be a bit clunky? But I'd have to see it to know what they're doing with it.
Can they do any wrong with this thing at the moment? I don't think they can.
No, not really.
It's been one of the best put together pieces of equipment in games history, in my opinion.
And it's so unique, just the games.
Probably the greatest handheld ever
Nintendo have been Nintendo the last couple of weeks as well. There's a shortage on Switches, and they're after flying up in price. There's lads selling
really
Switches
expensive.
for €500. Switch Lites for €500.
Oh, damn it.
Wow.
And it's like, why would you bother? Wait, lads. Just relax there.
Yeah.
Now, okay? They're
Well,
gonna come
everyone's
back.
stuck in.
They came
Everyone's
back
stuck inside,
they came back
Some
and
people have
shop
more
again,
money than.
and then they were gone again. And all you see everywhere now at the minute is people starting to switch up. This is what it's sold on eBay for, and I have to put up €500. But you don't have to. You don't have to do
Wii
that.
Fit was going for over 200.
The what?
Wii Fit was going for over 200.
Yeah, I heard that. As well. That's
Ring Fit.
everybody's inside or like that. There's newer stuff to do, like. But it's kind of mental to see it. But Nintendo being Nintendo, national shortage, shortage.
It is weird wanting a portable console when you're literally stuck inside.
True. Everybody loves the Switch though.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
It's the best pickup gameplay of all the consoles at the minute. Like it's so easy to pick up a Switch and play the game. So for anyone can pick it up. Any age, it doesn't matter. You can pick up a game. You can't be saying that any age can jump onto Tarkov there because, well, they can. I'm not saying they can't, but you know what I mean.
They give it a go. They might get shot.
I'm not saying they can't, but you never know.
They might lose all their gear after one raid and be like, oh god, what do I do now?
I just showed Paddy how dare he.
I love the fact that just those two apps for the NES and SNES are there if at any time.
Yeah.
And they get updated quite frequently, and just the little things like that Nintendo do that are really good. Like everyone was like, that Nintendo Online thing seemed really dodgy at first, but man, the stuff they've been giving away with the NES and SNES, and there's like a lot of rumors around E3 time that they're going to add an N64 version of that.
It kind of takes out the ROM market a bit too. I think they needed to do something.
Yeah.
They needed to do something to be, because a lot of people were like, well, if it's not available for me to play and I can't buy it and I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm going to get a ROM. And now they're like, well, we'll do it then. We'll make them. We'll bring them back. So
it's exactly what Blizzard did. It's exactly what Blizzard did with Classic WoW. For ages, like servers getting shut down of people making Classic WoW servers and be like, well, if we want it, would you please give it to us? And finally they're like, fine, we'll give you Classic WoW again.
And I was like, wow.
People are like, I didn't really want Classic WoW. I like the idea of Classic WoW.
Yeah, everyone thought the same thing. Ed.
It's always the same. Like the idea of nostalgia all the time. It's like
okay, we'll give it to you. Okay, I don't really want it now.
It now takes 600 hours to get level 50.
Yeah.
It's like me jumping
I'm already
back into
after
like
ruining one of my marriages.
Me jumping back into San Andreas is probably one of the best games I ever remember playing. I put it on now, and it's like, this is the most clunky piece of shit I've ever played.
I can still go back to San Andreas fairly easily.
Oh no, the controls are just.
Well, someone was saying it to me. I don't know if I saw it or one of you said it to me, but someone had a good comment anyway, and it was like the Final Fantasy VII remake. That's how they remember Final Fantasy VII looking in their head when they were a kid.
Yeah,
they don't
they
don't remember it being the blocky little characters. When they're playing it now, they're like, "This is how I remembered Final Fantasy VII, looking like this."
I actually liked the way it looked. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, so did I. I do like
the painted backgrounds look lovely in that old game.
Yeah, the music as well and the play. I think it really worked well. The old games. I didn't like playing it, but I like looking at it.
Free games during the lockdown blues, guys. We've got a good chunk of free games here, and it's good to see that companies are coming together to give us something to play. So on PS4, we've got 2 absolute monsters: Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. So if you haven't played the Uncharted series before, you have a lot of gameplay there. John hasn't played it. Definitely go and check that thing out, John. It's a fantastic series, and I think you'll see the evolution from 1 to 3. 1, the game is okay, but it's the evolution from 1 to 2 to 3, and then obviously on to 4, which is also free. Journey, one of the most beautiful games you'll ever play.
They're really pushing that Uncharted, aren't they? It's like,
they really are.
All
4 of them are there.
All 4. Journey is fantastic. The music is phenomenal.
I love it.
The message behind it is true. Kind of.
This is our third week in a row pushing Dirt Rally. It's like
Dirt Rally.
Just buy it. Just get the game.
True.
Just get it. We've talked about it every week.
So they're free. The free PS4 games are Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, and Journey, and then PS Plus also free is Uncharted 4 and Dirt Rally 2. It's a great time to get into Uncharted, guys, if you haven't done it already.
There you go.
I haven't played it, so it's Uncharted territory for me.
Oh, snap. Uncharted 4 is my favourite. Same writers as The Last of Us, so it really has a more kind of mature tone to it. And I loved it. The graphics are phenomenal. Dirt Rally, I've always said it, it's the greatest rally game of all time, if not one of the greatest racing games of all time. So get out there, get frustrated with it, and you'll find
Micro
something
Machines
special there. Micro Machines. Free Xbox One games. You have, if you have never played Crackdown, now is your time, guys. Crackdown 1, Crackdown 2, and 2 Human.
I can't believe it's not Crackdown.
And then Xbox Live Gold is Fable Anniversary, Knights of Pen and Paper, which I think we've said that game before, Project Cars 2, Shantae, Half Genie Hero, and Toy Box Turbos. Come on, Ed, you know every one of them there, don't you?
I know Shantae, actually.
I really like Fable.
Fable's good. Project Cars 2 is good.
That is
Fable's
the best game on that list.
I didn't play. Okay, so hear me out. I didn't play Fable 1 and 2, right? The only Fable game I've played is Fable 3. And that game is horrendous.
Oh god, not a good place to start.
Horrendous game.
I
like
really like the first Fable.
First Fable is fantastic.
I'm never the biggest fan of the Crackdown games personally. I think they're very repetitive.
There was a big list of PC games there as well, but there was too many to add. I was like, oh, fuck it.
It's the best system.
Everybody just get Tarkov. You have to pay for it, but lads.
I know games
with
are free.
Everything in your pocket, John. Your soul gets put into that game.
Just install the Epic Store and they give you a free game every 2 days.
There's a serious amount of free games going around at the minute. It's brilliant.
It's good.
What you want?
So we have another solid rumor this time reported from Kotaku. They've reported Kotaku's report, which places a larger focus on workplace changes allegedly happening at Rockstar following the massive discussions on crunch in-game development that centered around Red Dead Redemption 2. Also notes, however, that the next GTA is early in development. The reports further goes on to explain that due to the changing nature of the conditions of Rockstar, the company is considering ways of altering production to avoid similar crunch issues. One such plan is to allegedly have the next GTA, whether it be called GTA 6 or some other title, be a moderately sized release, which by Rockstar standards would be still a large game, that is then expanded with regular updates over time, which may help mitigate stress and crunch. I don't like that news, guys. I like the fact that people are not going to be crunch time, but turning GTA into a service is. I'm not sure about
I can't.
that one.
I don't really believe it. I think they're just letting us know that it's on the way, but it'll be a while. Like I can't see Rockstar doing that. They don't release things really that unpolished. Like, do you know what I mean? So I can't really see this happening.
Would they release like just the single player? Actually, that's the way they did.
They did GTA 5 that way, yeah.
And that's
they
a good
waited a month
way
or
of
two.
doing it.
And then the online came out, and it was
Let's face it. Like
It was on PS3 though.
for the next gen of games, like these games are going to be huge. Let's face it. Like especially GTA game, it's going to be massive. They're on about having all the maps, like loads of maps together for the next one. Like this would be, it'd be unreal. I can't wait for that game. Who can?
I've been saying for a while now that I genuinely think that GTA 6 is going to be a 4-hour campaign that's just a tutorial for GTA Online 2.
I can't see that happening.
I genuinely don't think there's been much single player. I don't think they're going to. They don't think they care because GTA Online has made more money than any game that's ever been made.
But I can't. I couldn't see Rockstar being like that. I don't.
But they'd already that had already been the case.
I think that's
when Red
why
Dead came out. And Red Dead had one of the longest extensive campaigns going, and they got awards and clout. And I have to disagree. I think they'd be silly not to, because how much they sold Red Dead because of the story.
Like
how much they'd
lose their stamp. Like if they did that, it would be like throwing like Rockstar off a roof. Like
the story director left.
I know, but sure they have more. A lot of these people are parts of teams. I understand like that he was flushing it out, but it's not him on his own, writing the story. It's
I think he saw the writing on the wall.
Now, they do a solid writing, but if they did that, they'd be throwing Rockstar off a bridge. For my focusing on they've done loads with the online, and that's brilliant. But like, it is about making games at the end of the day. It's about art. Like, it's about them developing a story about how, like, continuing their history, like, of what they've accomplished, and which is massive. Like, they're
not even that. I think they take a massive hit on credibility. I think Twitter and Reddit would be an absolute. I don't think they're that stupid, honestly.
They destroy themselves if they did that.
I hope I'm wrong, but that's sort of Take-Two's thing.
You're off this podcast.
Well, if he's right, he's just got the most exclusive scoop going.
Speaking of scoops, I would like to mention that article was the final scoop of Jason Schreier for Kotaku.
There you go, actually.
Oh yeah.
And who I think is the greatest journalist in games, and I really hope he finds a nice new place to write.
Maybe he'll make
Republic of Players. Yeah.
And shout out to him. He was the one that kind of uncovered a lot of the crunch.
He's free.
He's free. Almost all of the major scoops in gaming in the past couple of years have been him.
Oh yeah, free agent.
And if anyone's ever looking for a really good book on games, his one, it's Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. It's called. It's about the development struggles of 9 different games. Yeah. It's about the development struggles of 9 different games, and it's like Witcher 3, Stardew Valley, Shovel Knight, Destiny, and things like that. Games. And it's a really good book.
Tell me if I'm mistaken, but Stardew Valley is literally made by one dude, right?
One guy. His wife is
insanity.
Insane.
Stardew level is class.
Yeah.
She paid one dude for everything for 7 years.
It's inspiration because myself and Declan are trying to make a game. We're 2 guys at the minute.
Nice.
And Rhoda's making music. Because he's an absolute legend.
We're going to be doing a Twitch stream. Me making music and John telling me it's crap.
No, do it again.
So our first trailer of the night, guys. We have a new trailer for the much anticipated Streets of Rage 4. Paddy, roll it. So, Streets of Rage 4 looks absolutely class. I think, as you see there, you can use the old pixel art,
It
which
actually
is...
feels like we were talking about this game for years. I want this
it
game.
does.
It does. Like, we've talked about this on the podcast at least 10 times, and I can't wait for it. I really want to jump on with a load of friends and kill them.
It's probably like 10, 20 episodes ago, would it be?
Yeah, it would be. No, it's a long time ago. That we started talking.
We had that first trailer, and we were all kind of a little bit iffy with the art style. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But now the fact that you can choose the old school, I think that for me is a game changer. That's just class that you can do that.
I'd be optimistic. I was only a little bit pessimistic because of the whole when they released, was it Double Dragon 3 or Double Dragon 4, which was the one they released, the new one, and it was an absolute travesty. But they made a remake of that as well, and it didn't go too well. So, and the Battletoads remake didn't go. Or is that even out yet? I'm pretty sure that
could be.
No, I don't think Battletoads is out, is it?
People were looking at it, and well, I don't know. Maybe it's the same as Street of Rage, and they were kind of going, because it didn't really look. Oh, it was the. I remember people didn't like the trailer because the artwork was terrible. But yeah, I'll be optimistic for this.
It says there you can play Streets of Rage 1 and 2 as well, along with the game. So that's a pretty good addition. I'm dying to get online and just play with your mates and end up punching each other in the head. That was kind of the best part of that game for me. Just walk around. I don't mean to hit you. You keep getting in the way.
Just give me that chicken.
Give me that chicken.
Friendly fire.
Hey, go down. Whoop. As I said, I was watching there. I can hear every part of that game. I can never get towards the end, the whole way towards the end, and end up losing. You're like, I have to start again. This sucks.
And then try it all over again.
I don't think I've ever.
Go on.
I don't think I've ever played a game of Streets of Rage 1 that someone hasn't accidentally used the cop car.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah,
right at the start.
It's like when you turn on Revenge of Shinobi again for the first time, and you
know why though? I think because you're trying to figure out the buttons, and you're like,
that's it,
not that one.
That's it with Shinobi. You walk onto the screen, the first thing you always do is just throw lightning. It's crazy.
So the next bit of news, Epic are in the news once again, guys. So Epic Games have announced this week that they will be delaying the next season of the Battle Pass in Fortnite due to the COVID-19. In a blog post announcing the delay of Season 3, the Fortnite team said it would extend and add new features to the current season. We have multiple game updates on the way that will deliver fresh gameplay, new challenges, bonus XP, experience points, and a couple more surprises up our sleeve, the company wrote. The first season of Chapter 2 launched in October 2019, lasted months longer than predicted as developers hit multiple delays.
I was kind of talking about it at the start, but I don't know if I expanded on it, but there's a lot of there was a video released this week by Cypher PK. You know him, Ronnie.
Good streamer,
good streamer.
Nate loves him.
He started off. This is how he became big. This is the game that made him. Really, but he released a video and it had like 3 million views in one day, and it was basically everything that's wrong with Fortnite, and it goes through a big massive list and why everyone's fallen off, and it's definitely worth checking out if you're into Fortnite.
Yeah,
I find a lot of people either you love Fortnite or you hate it. Like there's a little bit in between sometimes, but not much.
Or you're good at it or you're not. Is that a?
But it's not that. I think it's like a lot of people, like even if you ask in the group and stuff, they're like, Fortnite, wouldn't touch Fortnite if you paid me to touch it. I hate Fortnite. I hate it. And then they just like jump into RPGs or something. There's definitely a lot of hate, but you have to give it respect as well for what everyone's done for gaming in the last couple of years. Like it's after bringing Twitch to the forefront of normal media. Ninja, like it's after like changing lots of things. Even
they have their own store.
Yeah, they have everything.
Their own game engine. Like I mean, they're Epic or
they're unbelievable
rocking
stuff there's after doing. And as I said, what goes up must come down. But
the funny thing is, like if you remember, the Horde mode was the original game. That just did not. The people were just not. It was like, okay, we'll just do PUBG with building. Then that's fine.
PUBG was using the Epic engine, and they were like, well, we're going to just add this into our game.
You have to say that with Fortnite, there is no other battle royale like it. Unless it's a complete unless it's a completely another like scribble over and it's the exact same game. There's nothing. There's no one else can come near to it that can make their own original battle royale. That would be like all the rest of them are the same, and Fortnite sits in its own category, and it always will. I think. I don't think anyone can come up with an original idea like it has with the building mechanics, especially. Like it's so different to everything else that's out there. I hope it comes back properly, and I hope it make it to balance it out, that it makes it a proper esport that sticks around just as long as League of Legends or any of them. You know what I mean? I think it has. Why not? It deserves the respect to do that.
the way it's been developed must be really difficult. Like looking back at that, like they threw that together, the original Battle Royale mode, in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
And they've been just incrementally developing it in public since. No, I think no wonder time has caught up with them, and they've had to slow things down.
Yeah, it's like they got to a certain point and peaked with their mentality towards the game, whereas they put so much effort in it for so long, and next thing, little by little, it just starts falling off. The servers start getting worse. The content stops getting worse. You know, everything
Bots start getting worse.
Everything starts getting worse. The bots are too much. Like everything, it's one of them times you get to certain time with the team, and maybe they need a fresh look. Maybe they need a fresh team to come in and take it over and go a different direction with it, because maybe they've just done as much as they can. Let's face it, the first 10 seasons were exciting, they're unreal, and then the next season 10, they must have run out of ideas. That's all I can think of.
Yeah. And most of the new ideas they did implement, like, because as you were saying, they were very original when they started. But a lot of the new ideas they implemented, they actually did rip from other games. Like if you remember, Apex brought in the whole respawn your character, and then Fortnite was like, oh yeah, fair enough. So they may have lost a little bit of originality when it comes to new ideas.
It's just
The
it's a
whole
walking
thing
billboard.
was ripped off.
It's a walking billboard. That's all it is. Fortnite at the minute. Like they're having X-Men characters coming into this week.
Deadpool,
what's that fella's name? The red character.
Deadpool, yeah.
Deadpool was in it the week before. Like they're getting, and Star Wars, which was an event, was just basically an advertisement for the new film.
Watch the movie.
Yeah, that's it. Like, and then it's like they've
Marshmallow
lost that.
doing the live gig.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool though.
That was
I
good.
didn't mind that.
That's it, but now they've changed it where it's a walking billboard. They're attached to so many big things all the time, but they're not. They don't have that creativity that they had to implement it. If you know what I mean. So it's kind of lost its way a bit, but it could still come back. Like the game is still huge. We can say it's fallen off, but it's fallen off in comparison to itself. Do you understand? Yeah. So like in comparison to other games, it's still not that bad.
People are still playing it.
Yeah, but there's still a lot. It still has a big following, and if like I know myself, if I did a Fortnite tournament tomorrow, I would fill it. You know, because people still do love the game, love competing at it.
So the last bit of news we have is Pokemon Rumble Rush is shutting down just 14 months after the mobile action game first went online. The official Pokemon website confirmed the news, putting the app's end of service date on July the 21st, 2020 at 6:59. Rumble Rush has preemptively shut down purchases of Poke Diamonds. That sounds... yeah, there you go. The microtransaction currency, though you'll still be able to use them up to the end of the game's life. The Japanese version of the shutdown notice includes mention of honoring in-game refund requests for unused Pokemon Diamonds. Whereas it's Pokey, is it? Pokey Diamonds.
Pokey Diamonds. Pokey.
I definitely want to buy them now. Whereas the American version just says to make sure you spend them all before the game shuts down. Even though Pokemon Rumble Rush is on its way out, the game still has one more big update planned. Towards the end of May, the update will add more Pokemon than have ever appeared before to the game, including some rare and powerful specimens. The Battle Royale mode, which is about competing against 3 other teams for points, not about airdropping onto an island with 100 other players.
Never heard that before.
Will also get some new effects for special summon gears for Pokemon.
I have
they have a lot to answer for, don't
heard
they?
of that game before, but I thought
Never
maybe you had.
Nope, never heard of it.
Never even slightly heard of it.
We're done for.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be. It's kind of filler, but put it in there now.
But Battle Royales have a lot to answer for, though. In all fairness, there's so many.
It's a new genre. Like, well, it's not that new anymore, but it was new.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Paddy.
Yeah.
Guess the prize.
I actually did it this week, lads. I remember. You think like me writing it that I'd remember last week, but I didn't. I did it this week.
That's all right.
But it might be something. We were talking about it earlier. We're doing Switch games.
Okay.
Switching it up, I see.
Now this is going by Wikipedia, so like if it's been updated or whatever, don't be coming at me, right?
I'm going to come at you. I'll get
I want a refund.
And I don't care about my facts.
Tell you.
Just tell me I'm right. Right, here
Google
we go.
Wikipedia.
You can guess in the chat as well. If you get it close to the chat, we've no prizes for you. But you're a great person. You're a great person.
Pride. For pride.
Pride. So the first game on the list, it's all in millions, right? We're all in millions here. Octopath,
right, Ronan.
Octopath Traveler. Ronan.
Good game.
What's your guess?
4 million.
8-0. All right, 8-0.
Don't look at me with your
What'd you say?
drudgy eyes.
2.2.
If you better put that phone away, Aiden. I want to see you googling now.
You just see the white coming on the face where the screen is in front of them.
John.
I want to say, what you say, Ronan? I don't want to go too close to
4 million. It's probably right, so I wouldn't even bother, John. Just
You
skip
said
on.
4. I'll say about 3.4 million.
Aiden gets it right. It sold 2 million copies.
Well, fair enough.
I thought it'd be more, but there you go.
Yeah, because that was a very popular RPG.
It's meant to be a good game. I haven't played
It's
it.
a very good game. Beautiful game.
It's on PC now.
The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. That's the latest one, isn't it?
Well, it's
No,
a remake,
yes.
but it's the latest one that
Yeah,
came
it's
out.
the latest one out.
Remaster.
Like, it's the latest
Yeah,
one
yeah,
out. We'll go backwards. Or John. Yeah.
I'd imagine probably more than Octopath, so I could be wrong, but I'll stick around the same. I'm going to say about 3.6 million.
Aiden.
7 even.
Oh, okay, I could be completely
7.
wrong then. Yeah,
I'll go-
that's made me very sad.
I'll go 4. Stick somewhere in the middle there.
4.19. So
Ooh,
Well, that's very close.
very close. What did you say, Aiden?
7.
7.
Oh, no, one of you
I said
close by.
3.6,
It
so I
you
was
that
pretty close,
Sorry,
but
it
Ronan
you
was
that
closer.
Man, it seemed to be a lot of them out there.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's probably the latest game on this list, so it probably has time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It hasn't really had time yet.
Still good sales.
True.
Yeah, yeah.
Super Mario Party. Aiden.
3 million?
3 million.
I think that's low.
Ronan.
I imagine Mario will be up the list a little bit. I'm going to go for 5.5.
Ooh, I was going to go for 5, but I'm going to stick with 5.
Who said the highest?
5.5, I said.
What did you say, Aiden?
Oh, lower than that.
All right.
3.
Well, it's 9.1.
Well, there you go. Shakers. We're
And
bad
here
at
we
this.
go again.
I think Mario.
Pokemon Sword and Shield. John.
Okay.
Good game.
Okay, so Mario Party was 9 million, so I'm going to guess this one is. I'm going to go with 10.5 million.
Ronan.
I'm going to go 8.5.
And Aiden.
I'll go 12.
Aiden wins.
It's
It
higher
has
again.
sold
It's Pokemon. Like. Yeah.
16.06
Wow.
million.
Jeez.
Million. China.
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 Biggest franchise of all time.
Well, we're about to prove you wrong here.
Yeah,
Mario
that's-
Kart.
You're not.
Mario
You're
Kart 8. Whoa. I'm fucking hosting it, right? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Maybe the most sales.
Right. Ronan.
That's a big
Mario,
sales,
the biggest
isn't it?
selling game on the Switch. How many sales does it have? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
19 million.
Aiden, for all the chips.
31.
Did you say 31?
Yeah.
There's not 30. No, I'm joking.
There's not 31 million people in the world.
There's not 31 million Switches. John.
I'm going to say, so what, between, what did you say, Ronan?
19, was it? 19?
Yeah.
I have to go in the middle, sure, to have a chance. 24. No, yeah, I'll say 24 million.
John wins 22.96. Wait, is it? Maybe?
No,
Are you in
Ronan
between?
wins. 22.96. What did you say, Ronan? 19?
19.
Oh, yeah, John won.
No, I won, yeah. Okay.
Nice,
I thought you said 20 for a second. Well, that was the
Quick
only one
maths.
I won.
Quick maths.
That was the only one I won,
Um,
so I didn't win the game, so.
That's been Guess the Price. You think I'd come up with a better name by now, but I haven't.
Guess the prize.
Except there's no prices. Guess how many we sold.
It's going to end up like run out consoles to do. It'd be like, ooh, let's do the Atari. We could do that.
You should
Neo
continue,
Geo
though. It should
Color
be like, it should
pocket.
be like
sold
Paddy's
1,000
Corner or
copies
something.
of one game.
Paddy's question
Yeah.
time.
How many,
How long
how many
is the
filters are on,
longest
John?
mile?
Any questions us on stuff?
Paddy and things.
10 meters.
Guys, our topic of the week, you're going to like this one. This is Trop-cast TV shows and movie picks to watch during the lockdown. I like this topic of the week, but I'm not going to go first. I'm going to let Mr. John Fogarty go first.
So,
What have you checking out?
are we doing like TV shows and movies, or just pick one?
Let's have a
Just so-
doubler.
discussion.
Let's go.
Let's open it up. You think it was a podcast or something?
Yeah, let's open it up.
All right, so I'm
Okay,
gonna
I'll
say...
just go first.
Okay, fine.
Let me talk.
It's Paddy's Guess the Movie.
Okay. I'm going to pick a weird one. And by weird, I mean the show is off the wall. It's probably not for everybody, but if you're strange like me, if you love David Lynch anyway, if you love David Lynch movies, I have to go with Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks 1, 2, and especially, actually, since we're doing movies as well, watch Twin Peaks the movie. It's fantastic. And Twin Peaks
What do
season
you
3,
work for them?
Yeah.
What's it about, John?
It's a good question. No, okay. Twin Peaks. There's a murder in the small town of Twin Peaks. Laura Palmer. Who killed Laura Palmer? She turns up on a beach with wrapped in plastic, as they say in the show.
Okay.
And
China.
it's a bit China. And basically, it's Who Killed Laura Palmer. It was one of the biggest shows in the early 90s. It was a mystery on everybody's lips. Who killed Laura Palmer? They had like fake, like, things in train stations, wanted posters of the actress, like as if it was just really someone was missing. It was a massive. It was the Lost of the early 90s. It was that big.
Twin Peaks.
Twin
I'll be
Peaks,
honest,
yeah.
I didn't watch Lost either.
You got lost, did you?
Season 1 and 2 was very good.
But and Twin Peaks, it's so weird. The whole thing about it is the first 2 seasons is kind of what they could get away with in the early 90s. So it's a bit happier and a bit like la la la, and it was on like a network. I can't remember what network it was on, but it was a network where they couldn't get too dark. So instead, what David Lynch did is he satirized like They're Young and the Restless and those kind of like daytime, those, I don't know what the word for them, those daytime like
Boppers.
Yeah, exactly. And like soap operas, yeah. And
Yeah.
so the show is kind of like that, but they're satirizing it. But it's also got some of the weirdest, freakiest, and scariest imagery. Like if you've seen the show, you know the scene where, like I'm talking to people at home, Laura Palmer just screams from the dream reality and is just screaming in the face of Agent Cooper. And the actress does it so well. She's just like terrifying, and she's got the really black eyes and stuff. It's some of the weirdest imagery you'll ever see. But then the movie, because the show got cancelled after season 2 on a massive cliffhanger, by the way. Like it's one of the most famous cliffhangers of a show ever getting cancelled ever. And David Lynch being David
I'm not going to
Lynch.
watch it now.
Oh well, I'll keep going. But
Keep
David Lynch
going.
David Lynch being David Lynch makes a movie, and everybody's going, oh, all the questions will be answered, but they don't remember who David Lynch is. So the movie is a freaking prequel, and it actually makes about 20 more questions about what happened, and people are like, David, why? And then there's no sight nor sound of the show for
John, this is basically what
25.
you're saying. If you are looking to get pissed off,
No, listen.
go watch this show.
We have all the content, though, is what John's going to say, isn't it?
Then the show, 25 years later, the show goes off the air for 25 years.
Wow.
And there's a line in the show, right, from the first 2 seasons where Agent Cooper is in the dream reality. By the way, in case you don't know Twin Peaks, it's been satirized in everything. You know, The Simpsons was like, Chief Wiggum, don't eat the clues. Where it's like she shows up the backwards talking girl in Chief Wiggum's dream and Who Shot Mr. Burns. That's all Twin Peaks. It's been satirized a million times in a million different things. But there's a line in the show where they're in the dream reality and Laura Palmer goes, I'll see you again in 25 years. And then they decided, you know what, we'll bring the show back in 25 years in real time. So the show comes back 25 years later. It's 25 years later in the story. It's set in current time. And it's one of the most mind-bending things that's ever been put on television. Episode 8, I don't even know how they were allowed to air it, because it's just like, it's surrealist, it's artistic, it's mental. Things happen.
Are we following like detectives, or how does it kind of play out?
Yeah, you're just, at the start you're following Detective Cooper. If you ever played Deadly Premonition is massively inspired by this. Agent York in that is Agent Cooper. It's heavily inspired by Twin Peaks.
That's a class game.
Very good game. But season 3 goes. Oh, by the way, season 3 and the movie are completely different tone shift. Really dark, bloody, swearing, nudity. It's like heartbreaking horror, like holding your head, like Lovecraftian stuff. Like my brain hurts.
Nice.
And then season 3. I won't give spoilers, but it's David Lynch. You end up with not many. You still end up with more questions.
Where can you watch this show?
The internet. I don't know. I stream everything. I just watch this live.
So you're saying
or
we should
watch
rob
this
the
free.
show off the internet and watch it?
Yeah, sure. I do it all the time.
John, too old for game, does not represent. No, of course he does. Here, start spamming links.
Go down to your local video store and
Your local-
rent it
I
out.
do. I do own the movie, and I do own season 3, The Return, the 25 years later one on Blu-ray.
He'll lend it to you.
Oh, I don't. I actually have the DVD set of season 1 and 2, but they're not mine. I nicked it off my sister.
More robbery.
There you go.
David Lynch to be proud.
But yeah, it's David Lynch. It's David Lynch through and through. It's mental. If you've ever seen Eraserhead, if you've ever seen Mulholland Drive, any of his movies, you know what you're in for.
Oh,
Paddy, what are you gonna be?
I don't know how to follow that.
Father Ted.
Father
Ted.
Well, to be fair,
that's a bad choice.
to be fair, it's not a bad choice. Everyone loves
Not a bad
Father Ted.
choice.
If
I
I used
have
to
watched
pick,
fairly quickly though.
there's a couple of shows that I pick. The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best, if not the best TV show ever made. To me, anyway, it is. I love the way it dives into the mind of a psychopath. What's the word for them? A man obsessed with himself, thinks he's like a god.
I know the word. I can't think of it right now.
But
Yeah.
a
Joker's the same.
narcissistic.
Narcissist. There you
Yeah.
go.
The show itself is like 6 seasons, like 6. It says 60. By the time it gets to the 6th season, they do 2 parts, so it's at the end. But the TV show itself, the writing, the way it adapts the arcs, the way it goes through the whole thing of gangsters and Italian gangsters, and like I don't know if it's depicted them the way they really are, but the show is just amazing. Like I can't say anything. Tony Soprano is probably one of the best characters in TV history. Like the way they make you like think it's okay for him to do the stuff that he does, even himself, the way he kills certain people in the show, and then in his mind he's doing the right thing, and like to see it from that kind of point of view, it's definitely a show to pick up and watch. I got the first 2 seasons and I watched them, like binge watched the whole lot of it. It was fantastic. HBO can do no wrong when it comes to these kind of shows.
My wife bought me the box set for Sopranos years ago, and I still have it up in the attic. I was actually up in the attic earlier, just putting a few bits up there, and I seen it there, the black box, and it really is. I agree with you, Paddy. It's definitely one of the best shows ever made. I honestly think that anyone can watch it. I think, there's the family drama, there is the kind of gangster side of it. There's so many elements and so many different character arcs.
Sociopath, that's the word.
Sociopath, yes. And I
Well,
think,
no, narcissist would have been more correct as well, for who loves himself.
But like it goes through it, and it shows like when you start off the show, it's obviously that he's going into, I don't know if anyone knows the base of it, that he's going to psychiatrist. So basically it's the head of a mob going to see a psychiatrist, trying to talk about things he's not supposed to talk about, and if all the rest of them knew that he was doing this, he'd be killed. So it goes through it, and then him on his rise. At the start of it, it starts off in him just being a soldier, but he was just below like the top or whatever, and it goes and it sees the moves that he makes through the show to like as a general, like as an army man, as the way they control the whole lot. A sociopath,
but not only is he a sociopath though, Paddy, like he's actually really charming in the show as well. Like when he's talking to other people, he's so like good at doing
so likable.
Yeah, exactly. He's really likable. But then the next scene he's just being a monster.
They have got like one of the most concontroversial endings of a show ever.
Same as Twin Peaks.
Yeah, like
did you like it, Paddy?
Oh, yeah, I didn't. I loved it. I loved it when I watch a TV show. Like I'd love to do. I was talking to John about this before. I'd love to do like reviews. I'd love to do a podcast on TV shows and movies, because when I watch a show and I watch a movie, I watch for the arcs. I watch for the little bits the director put in that other people are not supposed to see. I watch for all that stuff. I hate mind-numbing crap that's been put out. Like I always come back to like the Fast and Furious series. It just drives me bonkers. It's because it's the worst thing to come out. Like movies should be like the Joker and stuff like that makes you think, that you love to watch, every little detail that was put into it. And the Sopranos,
how did they drive them cars that fast though, Paddy?
Yeah, but
how did they do that?
Sopranos is very like that. Whereas there's a part in the Sopranos, like it's no spoiler free. The show is over decades or whatever you want to call it at this stage. There's a part in it where they say they're out in the boat, and he's out in the boat with his brother-in-law or whatever, and the brother-in-law and turns around to him and they're talking about getting killed, getting whacked, and he says, I hear when you hear it, when it happens, you don't even hear it coming. And then 5 or 6 episodes later, when it's the end of the series, it just ends. And that's because of that line. And that's the good part of that, being a good director, is doing stuff like that. And giving people to go back to and say, oh, they did this because of that, and they did this because of this. Like, that's what I love about movies and love about TV shows, is doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And diving deeper into it than just what's in front of your eyes. Look around you. Don't look just straight in front of you. You know, that kind of way.
Exactly.
There's an episode called Pine Barrens, Paddy. Do you remember that one?
Which one is it about?
They kind of get stuck out in the snowy mountains.
They're chasing the Russian.
Yeah.
The Russian fella gets away from them and the 2 lads are stuck in the...
Yeah, that was my favourite episode. No, it was just...
very good.
But no, I loved every episode. I think Tony Soprano he's like, what I love about him, he's a character that you can connect with. Do you know what I mean? I think all good characters, you find a connection. And the fact that you see his weakness when he goes to the psychologist and he's trying to figure out himself, he's trying to figure out what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong. The kind of sense of struggle throughout. But you see him kind of in his family life, and then you see him as, you know, the gang leader, and it's a total different attitude and totally different character. Yeah. And I'm actually going to pull that box set down and start watching them again.
It's on Sky Atlantic all the time as well. There's actually a really one that really sticks out to me in the whole thing, is the part where he kills his nephew. I know I'm just giving it away here, but this show is really old. But he looks, it shows they crash the car, and the nephew has been a struggling, like addicted to heroin, addicted to every drug going, and
great character
through the whole every season he's done this. He's going through this struggle, and even Tony's like, you know, when they're sitting down to have a meal or something, he's like, why can't you just be normal? You know, why can't you just have a drink like everybody else? Why are you like this? And then it shows him then that the young lad is in the car. He's after crashing the car and he's high on drugs. And Tony looks at him and he goes, you got to get me out of the driving seat, because I'm after being taking cocaine or taking coke or whatever out there. And Tony looks in the back of the car and he sees a child's baby seat, and then he decides in his head that he should kill him, and he kills him. And then they're all crying and say, oh, he drowned in his own blood and everything like that there. And then he turns around and goes, do you know there was a child seat in the back of the car? And he's like trying to make it that it was okay that he killed his own. Like, that's the stuff that's just like, that's mental.
That's Tony.
That's Tony Soprano. But he's supposed to love this person like a son the whole way through every season. Like, your man's in nearly every episode with him, depicting him like his son, and then he just kills him. And it's just like, because I thought it was right, I'm God, I should do whatever I want. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah. I kind of looked at it differently.
Wait, what way do you look at it?
I kind of looked like he was protecting the kid at the end of the day, and he was seen like one of the things that you don't do in. No, I know it doesn't make it okay, but it's just like the Joker movie. It doesn't make it okay for him to do what he does just because he's getting bullied. You know what I mean? But we still find that connection.
Yeah, but I think with that's the mind of a sociopath, though. You know, that's like because it doesn't give him the right to take somebody's life away. You know, like, because you see that he's protecting some. It could have been the child could have been in the car. But that doesn't mean your man's going to be taking drugs when his child was in the car. Do you know, you know what I mean? Yeah,
no, I do know what you mean, but it's that struggle with your own connection with that character. You're kind of like, with the mafia, like drugs, you know, taking drugs and heroin, that was totally against their, you know, their way. Yeah. And, you know, Tony kind of seen that the whole way through his nephew's struggle. And we're with the nephew the whole way through, and we build up a connection with the nephew. But we also see him go to a really kind of dark place. And I can't remember it too well now, but I often thought it was kind of Tony was nearly putting him out of his misery type of thing.
I don't really agree. Like, I do. He is putting him out, but he's putting himself out of his own misery. You know what I mean? Because he's struggled with him as well, and he's putting himself out of that. Like, again, that's to say you're like enforcing what I'm thinking here, like, because he's a sociopath. He thinks he's God. Like, he thinks that it's his decision.
But he is a god. He's a gang leader. Like, no, but like, he's a god in his own family. Like, everyone bows down to him. Like, of course you're gonna.
At the end, these people are gangsters or whatever that there, and they've it's okay for them. Killing's a part of it or whatever. Like, to normal people like us, it's not. Like, it's not okay. They shouldn't be doing that. We're not sociopaths. It wouldn't be like if I got in the car with somebody and then I found out they were on drugs and they crashed the car and I seen a child seat in the back of the car. wouldn't kill him. You know what I mean? Because
No, I
sure,
know
Paddy?
that, but I think
I
when
don't
we're
know.
looking at a movie like a gangster movie or any sort of material like that, you kind of get into the character. You don't sit back and go, "Oh, he shouldn't have killed him." Like,
no,
you know,
he shouldn't have killed him.
you kind of look at the reasons of why he
He
did
shouldn't
it.
have killed
and-
anybody. There is no that's the end of the day. They shouldn't be killing anyone. That's not.
But
what
why
you
are we
do.
so connected with gangster movies? Like, because of the power that they have. Like, we get connected with the power that they have because
Well,
you know
it's
we're not going to
fantasy,
do
yeah,
it
at the end of the day.
ourselves. It's like liking playing Grand Theft Auto. We're not going to do it, but we
No.
have a connection with seeing that unfold on screen.
All good gangster movies and television shows are, at the end of the day, end up being tragedies. Like Scarface, The Sopranos, freaking The Godfather, all of them. They all end up.
You live with a sword, you die with a sword. That's kinda,
exactly.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But that's why you see a lot of you'll never see a lot of time you won't see a TV show or movie having a good ending, because that's the way they want you to see it as well. They don't want the bad guy to win ever, and that's why I love sometimes when movies go that way, that I like it, because they come from a different field, they come from left field and don't do what you expect them to do. Like the Joker as well. At the end of that, I'm not going to give that one away. Actually, that's too close. But the Joker is another fantastic movie. But we won't talk about that one. Go on.
He
Now.
tells a load of jokes.
Yeah, that's a brilliant film, though.
Good movie. Aiden.
I suppose I should stay on brand, shouldn't I?
You don't have to go get weird with it.
I think I'm still going to do it. I'm going to recommend One Piece. As people might know, I'm on an anime podcast, so I'm going to start with this. One Piece is a show that has been around since 1997. It is over 900 episodes in, and it is the biggest phenomenon to hit Japan. It's been, to put it into perspective, One Piece is based on a manga, which is like a Japanese comic book. One Piece is the third highest selling comic book property of all time. Number one is Superman and number two is Batman. They've both been around for 75 plus years, and if One Piece keeps going for 2 more years, it's going to overtake Batman. So it's absolutely massive, and it's about pirates. It's about the story of Monkey D. Luffy, who is a boy who wants to become the king of the pirates. Years before the show started, the previous king died, and on his deathbed, he announced to the world that he's left his treasure somewhere. Whoever finds it will take over the crown, and it's just a story about exploration and friendship. What One Piece does better than almost anything I've ever seen is planning. What you were saying, there's details in the first episode of One Piece that don't come back into it to episode 500, which is like over 10 years later.
Jackers.
It's incredibly well put together. One Piece it's an island to island adventure. Every arc takes place on a different island. Every island has its own ecosystem, its own culture, its own look to it, its own unique defining style, and just things like that One Piece do so well. The first 20 episodes are kind of like, it doesn't really pick up for the first 20 episodes, but once it does, it's such a wonderful journey.
That's like a lot of animes. Like I watched all of Bleach, and the first season compared to the rest of the show, even though basically until they go to Soul Society for the first time,
Society arc.
It's fantastic. The Compatri fight is just, that's when stuff really starts to get going. But like, it's not that it's bad before that. It's just that when they get to Soul Society, you're like, oh, this is what the show is.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I genuinely, it's such a big commitment of a show, but hey, we're all locked inside. The episodes are like 16 minutes or so.
Thing, is it?
What?
Where can you watch it?
You can watch it on Crunchyroll or Funimation. Both have it. For people who are like wondering, the dub of it is absolutely fine. Some really good voice acting. Genuinely fantastic. Oda's a genius. This is a man who has been writing a weekly comic book for 25 years. The longest break he's taken is 3 weeks. I think he's legitimately psychotic.
So it's the opposite of Berserk, then.
Yes, the exact opposite.
I'll just take a year hiatus here, a 2-year hiatus there.
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones.
Stay on the boat for 7 years.
Good times.
One I'm actually going to recommend that I think you'll love, Paddy, is a TV show called Oz. I don't know whether you watched it.
I think
Oh, I've
watched,
seen
I
Oz.
started watching the first few
Seen
episodes
Oz.
and I didn't watch it then. But my brother was on about it to me before too.
I would put that kind of, I'd say, top 3 shows of all time, and I'd have Sopranos definitely up there as well. But Oz, like the story behind it, it's set in a prison. I think it's Oswald Penitentiary is where it's set, and it's basically just follows this normal guy who ends up there in a maximum security prison by basically drinking and driving home and being in an accident, and he gets sent there as an example, and you follow his story the whole way through, and it's just, you know, you get kind of the gang violence in there, you get the personal stories. The show is probably one of the most revolutionary shows of all time, in terms of drama, in terms of, you know, the actors in it. I'm sure there's a few actors that were in Sopranos as well in it, but everyone you see, you know, because they became, you know, famous through that show, and they went on to do great things after that. It's got one of the best endings. It's a top class show. If anyone's at home and wants something that is, you know, dramatic and is kind of tense, and you'll remember it forever, check out Oz. I don't really even recommend anything else apart from that, because I think it's a show that does go under the radar, even though when you look at, you know, top series of all time, there's Game of Thrones, there is Sopranos, there is Sons of Anarchy. Oz is always in that top 10. Always.
I give a quick
There
special
was
shout
Game
out.
of Thrones.
There was Game of Thrones before the last 2 or 3 seasons, for some people, especially the last season. But I'd have to give a shout out just very quickly to Boardwalk Empire. One of my favorite shows of all time, very underrated. Every season is brilliant. Steve Buscemi, all the actors in it are fantastic. Season, which season is it? I think the one with Jip Rossetti, I think it's season 3, is probably my favorite. I find that in a lot of shows that season 3, if it's like a 5 series show, season 3 is usually the best. I'd say that about The Wire as well. Season 3 is the best.
The Wire is on the
series
show as well.
Yeah, but Boardwalk Empire it's a bit underrated. It's legitimately one of my favorite shows of all time. The writing, the pacing, the setting. There's not a bad episode. I don't even think there's a bad scene. So Boardwalk for me as well.
Nice. Yeah, I
Can I help
suppose.
with one other thing?
Yeah.
It's a show I was going to recommend. There's 2 British crime shows that have been going now for a while, and that's Line of Duty and Luther, and both of those shows are
Luther.
spectacular.
Good.
And should be watched by
Good
many people.
recommendations. Yeah.
Is that Luther? Is that the one with Idris Elba?
Yeah.
Yes. It's
I don't mean to be
good.
like I watched some of that, and it's why this is probably a bit controversial. But why is every bad guy like a fat white bloke in that show? I watched about 5 or 6 episodes, and every one of them is a fat, bald, white fella. And I don't mean to be thinking, but they should be really like diversifying the bad guys.
You want diversity in your villains. You want
diversity,
thought of
yeah.
it.
Especially like if you had it the other way around, where it was a white guy and all he was fighting was black guys all the time. I'm just saying it needs to be.
That would be the
changed up a little bit.
LAPD, wouldn't it?
Just saying. You what?
We'll continue.
Just saying.
A couple of recommendations, actually, Netflix wise, because I know everyone's sitting at home. They probably have Netflix. Definitely the greatest streaming service. Yes, definitely the greatest streaming service out there. I got Disney Plus, and it's good for kids, but I wouldn't really recommend it for older people. Stick with Netflix. It's much more value for money. But Paddy recommended to check out The Platform, and honestly, I love that movie.
Yeah,
It's something that, you know, it tried to do something different. I love how it makes you just feel so uneasy and on edge the whole way through it. Like even the missus there going, I'm not going to like this. And then at the end of it, it's like, this is really, really good. Like,
Yeah.
It's
That's a brilliant film.
fantastic. Like there's some great messages in that. And it is, you know, it's kind of gruesome in parts. It reminded me of watching the original Saw for the first time.
Yeah,
That's the
me too.
kind of feeling I got. That feeling of dread that's always kind of overhanging the movie. 100%. If you have Netflix, check out The Platform. It's
I
and
was actually
don't
watching,
send me any sort of hate mail when you're creeped out by it.
I actually finished Mad Men
Yeah.
recently as well. That's a good show. That's about set in the 1950s, based on an actual ad agency in New York. It's very good. It starts off with them like how they acted and everything. And like to be honest, like the first season, the best characters in it are women, and like it really shows you what they went through and how they tried. They're all secretaries and they're all trying to make a name for themselves and trying to bring it up. And all the men were just misogynist assholes, really.
Yeah.
And but it's
Pricks.
sorry, what?
They're pricks.
Yeah,
They're
not
They're
yet. I
such
really swore
dicks.
I started a trend, but but it's a very good show, and again, it's one of them shows you have to watch out what's not going on to see what's going on. The bit I didn't really notice it until I started watching it with subtitles on, because I was watching in bed and the missus was asleep or whatever, so I put subtitles on so I could hear it a bit. You know, you can watch it with subtitles, you can hear it a bit more if you understand, because it was low. And every scene in it, the music matched the scene. So every time they did something where like he was going off, say he was driving away from his house or something, it'd be like New Beginnings would be the name of the song. Do you know, like, so all the music matched, and I thought that's a brilliant touch.
That's
because
class.
you notice that every single scene would be something to do with what's actually going on. That's really like the directors did a really good job on it, and it's like 6 seasons or something like that there, and it's very good. It's very much worth watching. It develops very well over the whole lot.
If I was to very quickly throw a movie in there as well, just very quickly.
See, we can do this all night.
Yes, actually, just another weird John pick. Well, it's not that weird it's a weird movie, but it's very famous. But Hereditary. Hereditary is one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long while, because it's not. I wouldn't even call it a horror movie. It's like a psychological.
Really, really
thriller.
good.
Psychological thriller, nearly. It's in air of The Shining type of horror.
Yeah.
Just eerie tone, eerie atmosphere. There's some things you won't see until your second or third watch of it.
It's not M. Night, is it? M. Night Shyamalan.
No. It's
very kind of much of the same style.
Very phenomena. I don't know who directed it, honestly. Oh no, I do. I can't think of his name. He also did Midsommar, but Midsommar's
a good movie.
But it's one of those movies that makes you feel uneasy the whole way through.
Yeah,
it's like a stomach churner. And I know you're going to say,
I love those, John.
That sounds fun. But it's like The Shining. The Shining, you're never at ease. The Shining, by the way, is my favorite movie of all time, just because I want to keep referencing it. But it's just, you never feel easy. It's just like, I can't see my finger.
Your finger disappears.
But yeah, Hereditary.
Nice. Yeah, I backed that one up, John. That's
another one I want. No.
I'll have one more series, guys. Because I know this may have slipped under the radar for a couple of people, and I think it's very, very good in this day and age, because it deals with technology and how it can be used for really bad reasons, but also good. Is Black Mirror, the Black Mirror series.
That makes me so uneasy. Them shows. Honestly,
I know.
God, it makes me.
And I love it.
So my watching them is like, oh, please just stop. Just stop.
But it feels like nearly like an alternate reality that could be this.
I've only
this
watched
reality.
One or two of them.
It's
the
fantastic.
one that reminds me the most. The one I can remember is the one where you're one. You're one. You're one. The husband dies and she brings him back. Oh,
yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one.
Like form.
The twist in that, I won't spoil it, but the twist in that at the end, how she, that's
so
great.
good.
But the way they
for
film
people
it.
episode. Sorry,
which one?
Also, the Yelp for People episode, the one where everyone has ratings and people rate each other constantly.
Yeah.
My skin was crawling watching that. I was like, that was the most uncomfortable any piece of media has ever made.
Honestly, does make you feel very uncomfortable.
But there's genius behind that. Like, you can't just make someone feel uneasy. You have to be, good at your art to.
What is it? You have to sit there and watch an ad to get this, and see if they sit there and watch an ad to get this.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's exactly what's happening. What are
That's
we doing?
exactly what's happening, only not as point system-y.
Yeah.
It's a great concept, and they did it in a completely different way, but it is pretty much the storyline of a Community episode where they did it for comedic effect, where it was the exact same app where everybody was rating each other, and they made their own social groups and stuff, and then people became like a caste system, we'll say. But yeah, because that was the first thing I thought when I watched it. I was like, this is like that Community episode.
One more movie, guys.
Charlie Brooker's a genius.
Since we're talking about uncomfortable movies.
Big episode.
And some people liked it, some people didn't, but Us, the movie, really, really good as well.
Oh, I haven't seen it because I saw the first. What was the first one that he made?
Get Out.
I saw that. I haven't seen Us yet. I want to see it.
Us is fantastic. Really, really creepy, and an unbelievable message throughout the movie as well.
I haven't watched Get Out either. All I can see is the screenshot of the man like this. I'm just like, so watching since that.
It's creepy.
That's good. It's a good movie.
It's the fantastic director.
I'm not mad for horror films and stuff. I do like a certain type, like Saw. I love Saw. I like that kind of them kind of.
I like psychological horror. I like The Shining. I like Hereditary. I like that kind of stuff.
Watch us, John. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Definitely
I will.
for you.
We've
Right, guys.
we've gone for like 2 hours now.
Any last words?
If you want to watch more movie podcasts, I'd love to do
I like
one.
that, though.
Me and John were going to do one before we didn't do it on the Joker. I think the Joker, if you haven't seen the Joker, is probably the best movie of 2000. It's 2019, I suppose it came out, was it?
Yeah.
Best movie 2019. Best movie in a long time. Really dives deep into mental health and can show you what can happen if it's not treated right. If it's not brought to the forefront and it's not given the people the attention that they need specifically for themselves, not for everyone else, because everybody's not all the same. We're not like, what will work for me won't work for you, you know, that kind of all the time. The Joker, I think it was one of the best movies I've ever watched. First thing I bought on Blu-ray in a long time, so get watching it. I'd love to do a show on it.
Yeah,
It could
definitely.
take a whole show. It could take 2 hours, 3 hours to dive.
I'd
deep
watch it
into that.
again. I'd watch it again, and I do it because I haven't seen it since I saw it in the cinema.
I seen it twice in the cinema, and the details that that director put into that film is ridiculous. And you could watch it over and over and over and over again, and you still wouldn't see it all. Like it's unbelievably good. I wish there was more films like it. I really do.
Again, another uneasy kind of movie to watch as well.
100%. There's a lot of people that went in there and said they felt drained.
Yeah.
After watching it, completely drained, like the happiness went out of their soul, and like it's true, it does it. That it would do that to you. Like it can put you on that edge of like, is he right? Is he wrong? What's going on here? Do you know, kind of way?
Yeah.
But definitely, I could talk about movies all day.
Yeah, same as that.
The weirder, the better.
The weirder, the better. You know, no, when you recommended the platform to me, I was like, he gets me. he knows what's up.
Check out David Lynch movies if you want to get weird with it. Check out especially Mulholland Drive. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sweet. Right, guys. On that note, we are gonna get out of here. So get out. Aidan, where can the good folks find you?
They can find me on Twitter. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all Aiden616, AODHAIN, the Irish spelling. You can also find me on the Show Owen anime podcast. Me and a couple of mates talk about anime. That's SHOWOWEN.
I
Let's go say just put up the background.
You can't find it.
Here it is. That's how you spell it.
He's sitting there, he's like,
He's there going, show.
I forgot how to use Zoom for a second. I was trying to delay.
This is an OBS.
Yeah, that's
it.
Cheers. Thank you.
That's it.
Aidan. John
That's it.
Fogarty, where can the good folks find you?
The good folks can find me at 2old for Gaming. That's TOOOLD for Gaming. And that's on YouTube. That's on Twitch. I've gotten back on Twitch in a big way. I'm doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. So I pretty much, so I'll be on tomorrow. I'm playing Minecraft because I got a request from Chantel to play it. So we're going from the 24-hour stream. So I said, you know what, why not? I like Minecraft. I'll play it. And you can also find me there on the same name on Twitter, everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything. 2old for Gaming.
And I'll shout out your new video today as well. Just go over to YouTube
nice.
and check out John Fogarty's unbelievable editing skills and his good sense of humor as well. Head
And
over
me muscles.
And his muscles. Look at that shaved head.
Most unintimidating flex ever.
Our
haven't
glorious
seen
leader,
mine
Paddy
yet.
Toner. Where can the good folks find you?
Just saying thanks for the weekend. Thanks for everyone that got involved. Thanks for all the streamers. Thanks to everyone. I hope Jigsaw are happy. I think they will be. And hopefully we do another one like that again. It was unreal, its response, and I can't wait to do something like that again. Hopefully next time we get to be all in the same room and takes a little bit of weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
But everyone can find me, the Republican Players, the website. Check out the website. Check out YouTube. Check out Twitch. Check out Facebook. Check out Instagram. Check out Twitter. Check out check it all out, right? Because there's so much of it. Trust me, there's a lot. Check us out everywhere. I'll probably get back streaming. I might as well. The Republican Players. It's everywhere. It's everywhere and anywhere, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're going to explode.
Definitely.
Thanks very much to everyone. Good night.
Yeah, just to kind of to continue what Paddy was saying. Thanks for the 24-hour stream. Thanks for everyone for jumping in, for the support, for the continued support of the podcast as well. You can find me on the Republic of Players community, and I also have my first written piece of content in a very, very long time. I enjoyed the hell out of getting it finished. It is a Tarkov basic guide. So if you don't know what Tarkov is, this is going to be a guide for you. It's going to be going up on the site in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully it'll be ready in the next couple of weeks. So wait for that. And I am back, like John, I'm back streaming on Twitch. I'm going to really, really concentrate on the Twitch platform. Facebook,
You're doing well recently, by the way, on Twitch.
Yeah, there's some good people coming in and chatting. What I do like about it is it's a place where gamers hang out. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I can be a little bit more myself, where on Facebook, my mom is there, my boss, my brother, my sister, it's a very personal thing. And I do want to continue to stream on Facebook, but I think I am going to concentrate on Twitch just because I like the atmosphere there. I like the community. And I think
Twitch is just better set up for it at the minute as well. Facebook game is really at the start of its life. And,
definitely.
Like even the likes of getting subs and like anything, the bits, the alerts, everything's better set up on Twitch at the minute. Yeah. So you can go back when it's a little bit better.
I like how unpersonal it is. I like the way that people have their gamer tag as a name. Do you know what I mean? Instead of coming in with the real name. I actually thought before that I preferred real names, but I actually like when people come in and they have their gamer tag. Their alias. I think they can be a little bit more, they can just escape. Like gaming, it's a good sense of escape,ism when you get into a game. And I think watching a stream is the same. So we're gonna leave it at that. Check me out on Twitch, Alpha Fox. Check me out.
Check me out, guys.
Check me out. Just for fans.
Give us a flex. Come on, check me out.
Wow. My name is Ronan Fox. I want to thank Paddy, Aidan, and John once again for a fantastic episode. This has been episode 58. We are nearly at 100. We will get there this year, I think, maybe. We'll catch you next Thursday, same time, same place.